Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to another podcast. The game, according to me, it's one day late because I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. So, um, apologize for not telling you guys that last week. You guys probably looking for it on yesterday, but it's out today, so that's all that matters. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, like we always do. Start with the NCAA, end with the National Football League. And maybe I give you a thought or two on this week's No Mercy. So week 4 was an interesting week in college football. We had Rutgers and Michigan. Michigan beat Rutgers 31-7. Oklahoma beat Cincinnati 20-6. Florida State beat Clemson just barely in overtime 31-24. Clemson just really had a bad time in overtime. In not overtime, but in the fourth quarter, just the way they ended that game was just ridiculous. That's suitable for a double Sweeney coach team. Miami beat Temple 41-7. Oregon shut down the Colorado Buffaloes 42-6. That was shocking. Like I wasn't shocked that Oregon won. I wasn't even shocked that Oregon covered the spread. But the fact that it was 42-6, that was something that was shocking. I mean, but I think what it maybe was all did is that, as all of us who had a fun time on the Deion train, it just kind of just showed that he's still, no pun intended, but he's the Colorado Buffaloes are still not ready for prime time. Kansas beat Kansas beat BYU 38-27. Alabama beat Mississippi 24-10. They went back to Jalen Monroe, seeing things seem to work better. Putting in Tyler Buckner, nothing's gonna happen but sausage. Duke beat Connecticut 41-7. Utah beat UCLA 14-7. Tennessee, off the wild loss to Florida, comes back, beats Texas San Antonio 45-14. Florida beat Charlotte 22-7. LSU beat Arkansas in the Battle of the Golden Boot 34-31. Washington State beat Oregon State as the last two remaining teams of the Pac-12 38-35. Texas beat Baylor 38-6. Penn State shut out Iowa 31-0. A heartbreaking game for us Notre Dame fans. The last two plays, 10 men on the field. And just couldn't get the job done. They let the Ohio State drive down the field the last second. It was a really bad game. Where was the Notre Dame offense? That we had saw the past 4 weeks, putting up 40 points. Where was that at? This Ohio State team was not the Ohio State team that has been in the past. So Notre Dame should have took care of this team. They get down and they went for a fourth down twice, and then it didn't make it. They went for it and missed a field goal. This was a game Notre Dame should have won. They did not. Ohio State beat Notre Dame 17-14, and afterwards Ryan Day had an epic rant on Lou Holtz talking about what he said about the Ohio State not being tough and everything like that, and let him go off. Right, he won. Missouri beat Memphis 34-27. Georgia beat the Trent Dilfer-led University of Alabama Birmingham, which I had forgot that he was even down there. But he is, and so Georgia beat UAB 49-21. North Carolina beat Pittsburgh 41-24. Fresno State blew out Kent State 53-10. Washington, Michael Penix Jr. looks like he might be now in the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Took care of California 59-32. USC beat Arizona State 42-28. And that was it for week 4. Because, well, the As we look ahead to week 5, again, I think we take a look and there's not really like last week where we had several matchups of ranked teams, and we got a couple of them. They might be interesting enough, but we'll see. You get Utah Utes at the Oregon State Beavers. This is Friday night. Saturday, we start with Penn State and Northwestern. That should be a blowout. Florida with Kentucky. Again, that should be another blowout. USC at Colorado. That should be another blowout. If Oregon can do what it did to Colorado, then USC supposedly should be able to do what they did with Colorado. But we will see. That's to show where USC is at compared to Oregon and maybe compared to a lot of the other teams. The Deep South's oldest rivalry, Georgia and Auburn. That should be an interesting one. Even though Georgia's number 1 team to rank the nation, still, like I said, this is the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Auburn should give them all they got. Kansas against Texas, last Big 12 matchup for these two teams. Michigan's at Nebraska. Missouri is at Vanderbilt. LSU, Mississippi. Oregon is at Stanford. Another big win for Oregon. Iowa State at Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma had a little trouble with Cincinnati. So, and Iowa State might be a little better than Cincinnati, so we'll see here. Although, there's about some scores. Last week was the first time Oklahoma didn't score over 40, I think, either. So, now they're taking out Iowa State, so we'll see with that. But they are at home. South Carolina's at Tennessee. Probably the game of the week. Notre Dame at Duke. We've seen what Notre Dame is. Notre Dame is a fun team. They lost to Ohio State. Only went down 2 slots in the polls. They were the 9th ranked team. Now they're 11th ranked team. Still in the college football playoff, but they're going to have to beat USC and they have to beat Clemson, and hope that some other teams make it as well. We talked about in my previous show. I talked about Ohio State, and Ohio State was, they've got some slots where they're going to possibly lose as well. So lose twice, maybe once to Michigan, and I forget the other game was Penn State. Maybe it was, but then you get Penn State, what they're going to do. So a lot of people need to lose a lot of places for Notre Dame to get some help to make it into that into the final 4-team college playoff. But they're going up against Duke, strong team. Surprising a lot of teams. A lot of teams this year is Duke. So Notre Dame needs to take this team, not for granted, and come in there, play your offense, score your points, and come out of there with a win. Alabama's taking on Mississippi State. Washington is at Arizona. This should be another big blowout game for the Washington Huskies. And Fresno State hosts Nevada. So again, like I said, probably the game of the weekend will be that Notre Dame Duke game, 6:30, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Make sure, or ESPN, one of the two. So. Now for the NFL, we go back to last Thursday, where the 49ers beat the Giants 30-12. Once again, Brock Purdy still undefeated in regular season play. To Sunday's action, the Lions took on the Falcons, beat them 20-6. Lions looking good, setting up a great Thursday night game with the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers took on the Saints. Derek Carr got injured, sprained his AC joint. We will see if he will play this in his next game. But the Packers came back from 17 points down to win 18-7. They've got a quarterback again, Jordan Love, and Bears fans are crying in their cereal because it's looks like another good quarterback for the Packers to have. The Chargers beat the Vikings 28-24. This was amazing. Brandon Staley was one of these analytic geeks. So he went try to go for it on 4th down in his own territory to punting the ball away. The Vikings had no timeouts left, and it didn't happen. It failed. The Vikings was able to, but the Vikings had trouble either. They just, they got the 4th down. They couldn't hear the play, and instead of Kirk Cousins, that's maybe one of the things wrong with Kirk Cousins. He doesn't have too many. instincts as a quarterback, and maybe that's why he's not considered to be great and just good. Because I think a great quarterback, even if the quarterback couldn't hear the play, quarterback would just spike the ball and you have 3 plays left. But he took a lot of time off the clock, rushed the play, and he threw the pass and was tipped and intercepted by the Chargers. The Chargers defense saved Brendan Staley. But yeah, that is a game that if the Vikings would have won, Brendan Staley should have been fired the next day without question. I agree with a lot of people who said that. The Texans beat the Jaguars 37-17. Something was happening with the Jaguars. Obviously, they couldn't have lost to the Chiefs. So that's okay, but boy, to lose to the Texans by 20. When the Texans are playing hard, C.J. Stroud, they be showing you that Ohio State quarterbacks can play in the NFL. You know who else is showing who can play in the NFL? The Dolphins. Put up a 70 burger on the Broncos, 70-20. 10 offensive touchdowns. Devin Akane, Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, and all the rest. And the whole Dolphins crew, they took it to the Denver Broncos. It was an unbelievable sight to see that every other update was like the Broncos and the Dolphins scoring a touchdown, and it was just amazing. It's a day that will never probably be seen ever again in the National Football League, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens this coming week for the Dolphins. They have the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of them, they went to Washington and beat the Commanders 37-3. They had a real big time with them. They forced 5 turnovers. Did the Bills' defense, offense was effective. Of course, Josh Allen doing what he's done. He's come back from that thing, and I mentioned this before about great quarterbacks have had bad games. They have bad games. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, all the greats have had bad games. I think I mentioned Brett Favre in one of the playoff games against the Rams. He had 5 interceptions. But I think one of the things that worried me about that first game was that this, it wasn't the fact that he didn't play well. It just looked like he was doing things that he really should not have been doing, throwing balls he should not have been throwing, and looking like he's regressed. But he's come back and he's looked good. I cannot wait to check this game out next week. Hopefully, I think we will be able to. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the Bills and the Commanders are going to be real good. The Browns beat the Titans 27-3. Hell of a game for what's his face, Myles Garrett. Have you seen the clip of the Myles Garrett like moving around and the Tennessee Titans had 2 people following him? I absolutely love that clip, and they still got a safety sack or something like that on the Myles Garrett. So tremendous game by the Cleveland Browns. The Colts beat the Ravens 22-19. That was in overtime. There was a pass interference call that should have been called. It was not. That led to the Colts in overtime kicking a long field goal and beating the Ravens 22-19. Where is this new offense that we were supposed to get from the Baltimore Ravens? Where was this? Are we seeing Lamar Jackson becoming a passer? No, we're not. You know why? Because he doesn't. He's not. He has not been a passer since his MVP year. He has regressed. I'm telling y'all guys this. You guys are overrating Lamar Jackson. You're overrating him. Like you're overrating Justin Fields, and we'll get to him in a second. But you're overrating Lamar Jackson. He's as a quarterback, he's average at best, and he's like the 15th, 16th quarterback in the league. The Patriots beat the Jets 15-10. Jets offenses still could not come together. Even though that's what the Jets defense is. Jets defense held the Patriots to 15 points, so that they had a last-second shot with a Hail Mary. Zach Wilson threw it all the way down the field, and it was popped them in the air, which is the way you do it. You either do it one or two ways. You pop it up in the air so that when your teammates to catch it, or you bat it towards a teammate, try to get it. I think that's what happened. They batted it towards Randall Cobb, who was following through the trail, and he almost caught it, but he slipped a little bit and just fell out of his reach, and so the Jets lose. But Patriots do not start 0-3. Last time they started 0-2 was the Super Bowl year 2001. So see how that is. The Seahawks beat the Panthers 37-27. The Chiefs beat the Bears 41-10. But the real story of this game was Taylor Swift in the suite sitting next to Donna Kelsey, Travis Kelsey's mother. And it does seem like that maybe they are a thing. Who knows? To be perfectly honest, I think Travis Kelsey could do a whole lot better than Taylor Swift, but that's just me. But yeah, it's that seems to be the big story, because this was a no-doubter from the beginning. We knew the Chiefs were going to, blow out the Bears, and we knew that Justin Fields was not going to do anything to prove that he was that he could be a quarterback. And as much as I want to try to, be positive and say he's still got an opportunity. Drew Brees did this in his year, and yada yada yada. I'm really just starting to think that this is who Justin Fields is. This is who he is. It's like Lamar Jackson. And right now Lamar Jackson's actually better. He's better than Justin Fields. So it's awful. So as a Bears fan, it sucks now. We'll talk about that again later, but it was just bad. The Cardinals shocked the guys, Cowboys. As soon as we started peeping haze on the Cowboys, they go into Arizona and just get their wig split by them, 28-16. Sunday Night Football, Steelers beat the Raiders 23-18. And again, two Monday Night Football games. First one, the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Eagles won 25-11. And the second one, Rams at the Bengals. Bengals won 19-16, causing them to not be 0-3. As we look ahead to this upcoming week, tomorrow night, we talked about it, the Lions and the Packers. Both teams 2-1. Both teams looking to take control of this division. It should be a fun game. It should be a great one. Jared Goff versus Jordan Love. Some great action should happen tomorrow night on Prime Video. To Sunday, first day in October, Sunday, October 1st. You got the Jaguars against the Falcons. The Rams at the Colts. The Ravens at the Browns. That's going to be a very interesting one to see. Because that's for like the Division 2, I think. Both Ravens and the Browns are 2-1. Vikings and the Panthers, both teams 0-3. Don't want to go 0-4, if you're both teams. Bengals at the Titans. Bengals need to keep it continued. And Titans, just the same way as they need to catch up to the Indianapolis Colts, who are the leaders in that division, along with at 2-1. I believe they're 2-1, right? Because I think they beat the Texans. Yeah, but they're 2-1. Buccaneers at the Saints, both another battle of 2-1 teams. So that's it again for the division. Sorry, my fan cut out, and I was trying to figure out why, and because I hit the thing, so gotta have my fan. Come on. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, probably the game of the day will be the Dolphins and the Bills. Can that Bills defense slow down that Dolphins offense? The Josh Allen turn the ball over. The Tua Tagovailoa continue his streak of just great play. Can anybody stop anybody on the Dolphins? So it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a wonderful game, and I don't think we will get to see it here in Chicago because we got the Broncos at the Bears. 2-3 0-3 teams. One team coming off a 31-point blowout, the other one coming off a 50-point blowout, and the Broncos are a 3-point favorite over the Bears. That shows you how much people think of the Chicago Bears. The Commanders are going against the Eagles. That should probably be the Eagles' win, but the Commanders probably should play them tough. You got the Steelers at the Texans. Who knows about that one? Because the Texans have been competitive and looked good with C.J. Stroud under the helm. And the Steelers are still trying to run and do that with Kenny Pickett. The Raiders are at the Chargers. Division matchup there. The Cardinals at the 49ers. Division matchup there, but the 49ers should really just smoke the Cardinals. But we'll see. Again, the Cardinals played hard. The Cowboys should have smoked them, and that didn't happen. Speaking of the Cowboys, they're taking on the New England Patriots. Sunday Night Football, we got the Chiefs at the Jets. Boy, NBC's now they're now worried. They're now regretting putting that on the schedule. Sunday night. Thought it would be Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers, and you have Patrick Mahomes versus Zach Wilson. Yeah. And then Monday Night Football, we got the Seahawks at the Giants. And there you have it. Week 4 of the National Football League. Week 5 of the college football season. Should be some great games this weekend, as always, because it's football season. Alright, before we end this really quick, make sure to go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AJTRIP. This Friday, the NXT No Mercy predictions are going to happen. And then Saturday night, the Rebel reaction to NXT No Mercy. Some very interesting things are going to be happening that night. We got an Extreme Rules match between Becky Lynch, NXT champion, versus Tiffany Stratton, Dirty Dom Mysterio, defending the NXT North American title against Trick Williams. Crowd really getting behind Trick Williams to whip that trick. And then, of course, for the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes, NXT Champion, going one-on-one with Ilya Dragunov. Should be a hard-hitting, fun match. Maybe even might steal the show. Although, I don't know if it's the main event, I don't know how you can steal the show, but you never know. So there you have it. Just make sure you go over there. As for this, no doctor's appointment, so we'll be going back to a regular day, Tuesday next week. So make sure you are going to be here wherever you listen to your podcast. You should be able to find this, find this podcast there and listen to it come Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.